Hello students. So now today we'll study the Unit 5 Data Literacy of Artificial Intelligence. So let me open the Unit 5, scroll down the handbook. So in the last class students we have studied about the capstone project of Unit 4. Now in this we will study what the data literacy. So data literacy, what is means? What do you mean by this word? The term data literacy. So basically, this the word data literacy gives you the information about that how much good you are in identifying the data or collecting the data or analyzing the data. So that is called the data literate. So collecting the data is also a task, a good task, or we can say a complex task. How you collect the data, and after collecting the data, analyzing is another challenge. So in this unit basically we'll discuss about the data collection to data analysis. That is all talking about the data literacy. Okay. So in this session today we'll show so many hands-on practice about the data literacy, how we analyze the data with the help of the statistical tools to find the mean, mode, median, variance, standard deviations, and we will see its meaning also. What does it mean? So students, we are talking about this data literacy. Just now I have told you that literacy means if you are able to find and use the data effectively, if you have the skill to collect the data, organize the data, and check the quality of the data, and analyze the data, and understand the results of the analysis, so means you are data literate. So now the term is that what the data means. So in that, for a computer, the data is a representation of the facts or instructions about some entity. The entity can be a student, means facts about student, information about student, facts about school, information about school, facts about any sports or information about school's business. All those things are the data only. So this data are of three types: structured data and unstructured data, or you can say the semi-structured data. Both is unstructured and semi-structured, both are the same. So we can say this data is of two forms: structured and unstructured. So semi-structured is also the part of the unstructured only, and data should be collected, organized, and analyzed properly to know where the input of whether the input for the AI model is valid. So because we train the artificial intelligence machine agent with this data, so our data should be valid. So this AI data analysis involves using AI techniques and data science to improve the process of cleaning. So we clean the data, some noises, some unwanted values we remove from the data, some missing values we replace by the average value. We inspect and model both the structured and the unstructured data. So what is our primary objective is to extract the valuable information from the data which can support in our decision making process. So how we collect this data? Now the part of we are talking about the data collections. So basically data collections can be done from various sources. So the data collection means pulling the data. How you pull the data? By scraping, by capturing. Scraping means taking the data from the various websites. Capturing means taking the screenshot, loading it from multiple sources, including online and offline sources. So this big volume of data collection or data creation is the hardest part of a machine learning project, especially at a high scale. So how much data you need depends on how many features there are in the data set. Like in the iris flower, we have studied about three features. That is the iris setosa, iris versicolor, iris virginica, on the basis of the petals length, petal width, and sepal length, sepal width. Next is the quantity of data. So this quantity of data depends on the complexity of a model. So model is more complex, so the quantity of data will also be more. If it is a simple as license plate detection, then you can expect predictions with small batches of data. But if you're working on a higher levels of artificial intelligence like medical data AI, you need to consider huge volumes of data. Next, from where we collect these data sources, so there are two sources of data collection, primary source and the secondary source. So what are these primary source? So primary source are those source through which we collect the data for the data analysis. So how we collect the data? Through the survey form. So we gather the data from a population through interview. We ask the questions, questionnaire form or online forms we circulate. So this is the survey method is the one example of the primary source of data collection. Next in the interview, direct communication we do with the individuals or groups and they gather informations. So through the interview we can get structured data or maybe semi-structured or can be unstructured also. So for example, an organization conducts online survey to collect employee feedback about job satisfaction. So this collection can be three categories. This depends on your program that how you are collecting the data. This depends on the software. Observation by watching and recording behaviors or events as they occur. So we collect the data through observation also. For example, children's play patterns in a schoolyard and understand school dynamics. These are the data collected through observation. Next, through experiment, we manipulate the variables to observe their effects on outcomes. We used to establish cause and effect relationship. So in this case, we test the effectiveness of the different advertising campaigns on a group of people. We can collect the data through marketing campaigns. So here you utilize the customers to predict behavior and optimize the campaign performance. Example we can give like a company personalizes email marketing campaigns based on the past customer purchases and send the email to the new products regarding the new products information. Questionnaire method. This is another way of the primary source of data collections. So here we use the tools. We survey a list of questions we give to gather the data from the respondents. We collect the numerical data or maybe the descriptive information. A questionnaire might ask respondents to rate their satisfaction on a scale of 1 to 5 and also provide open-ended feedback. Open-ended means a descriptive or ideal remark with feedback. Secondary data source is already stored data. Means you are collecting data from somewhere stored it is. And it is only ready for use. So like the data stored in the books, you are taking something from the books, journals, newspaper, websites, internal transactional databases. So store the data in the database. So some methods of the collecting secondary data are you can collect the data from social media or data tracking. So collecting data from social media platforms like user post, comments, and interaction, that is called scrapping also. So we analyze this social media sentiment to understand the audience reception towards a new product launch. What are their reviews when new product is launched? What the customers are giving their reviews and comments. So that we want to analyze. Web scraping using automated tools. Web scraping means here the software will do the reading the content from the various websites to extract the specific content and data from websites. Scrapping product information and prices from e-commerce websites for price comparison. Third method of collecting the secondary data is the satellite data tracking. We gather the information about the Earth's surface and atmosphere using satellites. Just now, the India and America is going to launch the NISAR satellite which will collect the data of the Earth's surface and near about 250 kilometer area in one glance. So monitoring weather patterns and environmental changes using satellite imagery. Now, online data platforms are there, which offers the pre-compiled data sets for various purposes, like the Kaggle and GitHub, from where you can get the online data set. Now, how we explore the data. After collecting the data, we have to explore it. Explore it means getting to know the data and its values, whether they are typical, unusual, spread out, whether they are extremes. So, we have to find the data information about observing the data. So more important during the process of evaluation, one gets an opportunity to identify and correct any problems in the so basically in the exploring we know the data and its values, whether they are typical, visual, spread out. Basically, this will understand the variance, that how the data is spread through from the median values or from the mean values. So now, students, okay. So now we are on this levels of measurement. Just a minute. This is yes, levels of measurement. Okay, no. So there are different levels of measurement of the data. The way a set of data is measured is called the level of measurement. How we are measuring the data. All data cannot be treated equally. It makes sense to classify the data sets based on different criteria. So we classify the data on some rules and criteria we say. Some are quantitative data and some are qualitative. Now we'll see what is qualitative and what is quantitative data. Data sets are continuous and some are discrete. That also we'll see what is continuous data set and what are discrete. So qualitative can be a nominal or ordinal. So in the qualitative data means we give some names like the male, female, or in the ordinal data we give some numbers like this, first, second, third, one, two, three, four. In the quantitative data can be split into two groups, interval and ratio, where we give the ratios and the interval we give. Like 1 to rating, they are giving between 1 to 3, 5 to 6, or 7 to 10. So I think discrete data and continuous data, discrete continuous value means like from 0 to 1, you can give the value 0.1, 0.2, 0.59. But in the discrete, you can give only one value, either 0 or 1. That is called the discrete data. Now see in the nominals, just we have discussed, data maybe only be classified, maybe the just the numbers of football player, maybe the make of car model, ordinal data rank, your ranking class for second, your team standings, interval, temperature, data, dress size data, meaningful differences between values, and ratio, meaningful 0 point ratio between in the number of patients seen, number of sales call made, distance students, this is the numbers we get, that is the ratio. So now let's talk about the nominal labels. So these nominal variables are like categories in the nominal data, like Mercedes, BMW, we give the name to the labels to the cars. Like the four seasons, winter, spring, summer, autumn. If we classify the data in this like that, that is called the nominal label. They are not numbers. It cannot be used in calculations. Nominal data cannot be used in calculation, neither in any order or rank. So nominal level of measurement is the simplest or the lowest of the four ways to categorize the data. Nominal means in the name only. So we give the names of we classify the data on the name basis. Get the color of eyes, yes or no responses to a survey, gender, smartphone companies all deal with the nominal levels of measurement. Yes, simply indicate your marital status, say married, single, separated, divorced, widow. All these are nominal. Do you like or dislike chocolate? Like and dislike nominal. Here, which of the following supermarkets have you shopped? So this name is given Albertson supermarket, Winn Dixie, Publix. These are the nominal. Similarly, here you can see the indicating the gender like male, female, transgender. These are the nominal. Ordinal data is made up of groups and categorized which follow a strict order. If you have been asked to rate a meal at a restaurant, so how you give your ratings? Unpalatable, unappetizing is in words, just okay, tasty and delicious. So we can say the unpalatable means taste not good. Unappetizing means not healthy or something, just like that. So these are the nominal, but in the ordinal, how you give? In the ordinal, how you label it? So here, see, some indication is given. How likely are you recommended? Definitely will not recommend. That is the point 1, 2, 3. 4 you will recommend. Definitely you will recommend 6 or 7. So this is the ordinal level. Here inside the bank, Labels are given. Please indicate below how frequently you use different banking methods. For each of the banking methods listed below, circle the number that describes the frequency you typically use each method. How many times? First, second, very often if you are using them, give it 9, 10. Never you are using them, it can be 0 and 1. So like this. So this is the order. Next is the interval level. Data that is measured during the interval scale is similar to ordinal level data, and because it has a definite ordering, but there is a difference between the two data. The differences between the interval scale data can be measured through the data does not have a starting point, that is having not a zero value. As a temperature scale like Celsius, 0 degree Celsius in Fahrenheit, 0 degree, and like Celsius and Fahrenheit are measured using the interval scale. In both the temperature measurements, 40 degree is equals to 100 minus 60. Differences make sense, but 0 degrees does not, because in both the scales 0 is not the absolute lowest temperature. So temperature like minus 20 degree Fahrenheit, 20 degree Fahrenheit and 30 degree Celsius exist and are colder than 0. And they're colder than 0. But here minus 20 degree Fahrenheit maybe in Matic you can see this value is in degrees Celsius will be the positive if you convert it. But here what is making this sense? Yes, minus 20 degree Fahrenheit will be more colder than 0, but it is not below the freezing point. Minus 30 degree Celsius clearly means it is below the freezing point. So interval level data can be used in calculations, but the comparison cannot be done. So basically this is the important point, that interval level data can be used in calculations, but you cannot use the comparisons. In the calculation you can use the interval level data, but don't do the comparison because it will not give the correct result. So for example, 80 degrees Celsius is not 4 times as hot as 20 degrees Celsius. No, you cannot say that 80 degrees Celsius is 4 times hotter than 20 degrees Celsius. Maybe it is 800 times hotter. Not 80 degree Fahrenheit 4 times as hot as 20 degree Fahrenheit. There is no meaning to the ratio of 80 to 20 or 4 to 1. Now the ratio scale level. Ratio scale data is like interval scale data, but it has a 0 point and ratios can be calculated. So in this is correct that in this data, interval scale data is like ratio scale is also just like interval scale data. In the interval scale data, there is a no 0 point, but it has a 0 point in the ratio scale. The scores of 4 multiple choice statistics final exam questions were recorded like 80, 68, 20, 92 out of maximum 100. The grades of the computers are generated. Data can be put in the order lowest to highest, 20, 60, highest is 92, vice versa. So the smallest score is 0. So 80 is 4 times 20. Here it is correct. The ratios can be calculated. The score, now here it makes sense. The score 80 is 4 times better than the score 20. Here comparison you can do in the ratio data. Okay. So here some questions are there. Activity, student health survey, fill in the response and mention the appropriate level of measurement. So in the response, the student had given the answer female. What is your sex? Female. So this is a nominal because name you have used. Height 150. This is the ratio number you have used. Weight 60 ratio. And the rate overall health good. This is the ordinal. Good, better, best means you are using ordinal scaling. And pulse rate 80 ratio. Body temperature 36 ratio. Country of residence India name we have used the nominal. So like this the level of measurement you have to classify. Maybe the question asked in the exam. So now the measures of central tendency, statistical analysis of data. So imagine you have a data set of the height of all the students in your class. So how do you find the average height of the students? In your class, 28 students are there. So what is the average height? All students' height are not same, but maybe the average value can come, which the maximum of the students you will get that height. So we often hear about the data being spread out or clumped together. So means suppose the average height you got 160 centimeter, but the highest height you got the 175 centimeters. So what is the spread from 160 to 175? 15 centimeters spread value there. So one's height, some students are few students are there whose height is more than the 50 centimeter more than the average height. Some students are there whose height is less 15 centimeter less than the average height. So this is called the variance. So this all we'll study. So measure of central tendencies. Statistics is the science of data, which is in fact a collection of the mathematical techniques that helps to extract the information from data. So from the AI perspective, if we talk, statistics transform observation into information. Yes, this is the point that for the AI perspective, statistics transform observation into information that you can understand and share. So the observation is converted into the information, and that information you can share which a person can easily understand, that you can understand. Now mean, median, mode. So we'll discuss, if you see the formula of calculating the mean, median, mode. So for a layman it will be very difficult to understand how the mean and median and this mode is calculated. But if we transform into the information like in the bar graph form, so layman can also understand. Layman means a person don't have a knowledge of mathematics. Statistics deals with large data sets. Central tendency is used for understanding this analysis purpose of data. Central tendency is stated as the summary of data set in a single value. Summary of data in a single value that represents the entire distribution of data domain. So when I talk about this average height of the student in class 165, so now I got the idea. So this 165 means this is the classes of maybe the 11th or 12th students, and what is the maximum height of the student in the class we can now calculate, or we can predict maybe 15 centimeter more, 20 centimeter more. That can be, that only be possible. It cannot be possible that someone's height is just double. One is 165, second will be the 330. Not possible. So we can perform statistical analysis using Python programming language, and we have to import the library statistics into the program. So how we calculate this statistical data? So we use the statistics module in the Python, and that module contains the mean function which returns the mean of the data. It contains the median function which returns the median of the data. It contains the mode function which returns the mode of the data. Variance function will return the variance of the data, and standard deviation will return the standard deviation of the data. There is just what I discussed now, the variation of the height of the students from the average. So one student height is 15 centimeter more than the average height of 160 centimeter. So this 15 centimeter, what is the difference from the average height? That is the variance. So there is a formula to calculate the variance. Now we talk about the mean. So as you all are aware about the arithmetic mean, how to calculate that the sum of fx divided by n. Here f is the frequency and x is the class mark data. So when you multiply the class mark with the frequency and find the sum of each products and divided by the number of data, we'll get the mean. So sum total of the scores, sigma represents the sum total of the scores, f represents the frequency, and x represents the score. And n is the total number of cases, how many scores we have taken. Here is a small example you can see. From class 2 to 4 is the interval, the frequency, the value comes 3 times, from between 4 to 6, 4 times, 6 to 8 the value observed 2 times, and 8 to 10 it observed 1 time. So how we calculate its mean? So see, first we will find its mark here. So see, we find the mid value, that is for the class mark. Mid value of 2, 4 is 3 and 4, 6 is 5. So 3, 5, 7, it appeared 3 times. So product will be 3, there is a 9, 5, this data 4 to 6, between 4 to 6 data appeared 4 times. So mid value is 5 multiplied 4, 20, 7 multiplied 2, 14, 9 multiplied 1, 9. Now see, using the languages in the Python language, how we implement this, how we find the mean, median, mode, variance and standard deviation with the help of the programming. So in the Python we need this statistics modules. So let me open my Jupyter notebook, and there I'll show you how we can do this. So see, the students, I have this one for you. So here the code already we have written to calculate the mean. So you can see just now. So we use this statistics module, and here is the height of the data in a list form. And after that we calculate the mean height of the students. So just we use the function mean function of the statistics module, statistics dot mean. Now when I'll run this, so this is the output here you are seeing. So let me first clear this out. Okay, so first let me clear the output. Then now I'm going to execute this code. Now see, you got the output mean height of the student is 149.56. So here, so many students are there whose height is someone's height is 149, someone's height is 151, 155. So, but the mean height what you got 149.58. Like this, you can write the code and you can execute it and you get the output. Similarly, here we calculated the median height of the student by using the function statistics.median. And we'll get the median height of the student. Same way, just let me clear the output and I'll execute this code. When you write this in on the code cell and you click on this run, you'll get the height of the median height of the student 150.5. Similarly, here the mode of the height of the student 154. Mode means most frequently occur data. So here many students are there. The number of frequency of the students whose height is 151 is more. So means in the class more students are there whose height is 151. So you can see in this how many cases are there. 1, next is 2, next is 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, and 5. So here 5 students are there whose height is 151. So this will become the mode. Now the variance. So variance students have explained. So let's go again back to the PDF and understand what is the variance. So here the median we done. Now the mode. You see, mode is another important measure of the separate pregnancy which I discussed. 151 height data students are more. Number is more. Here also you can see this data is more time appeared. How many times? Near about 7 times. This value. I think this is the 35. So here the age of, so it represents the highest bar in the bar chart of histogram. So in the bar chart whose height is highest, that represents the mode of the data, means that data appeared more number of times in the observation. Age of 15 students of a class is given here, 22 years, 24, 17, 18. We arrange this series in the ascending order, 17, 17, 19, 21, 22. And inspection 3 show that 22 occurs more frequently 3 times. Here you can see 1, 2, 3. So that is called the mode. Now in the Python we can calculate the mode with the help of the statistics.mode function just I have shown you. And the mode of the height in my program we got 151. 151. Yes, but in here you can see you got 152 because here 152 occurs more number of times. You can see 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 6. So 152 occurs 6 times here. In my case 151 was occur 5 times, that was the highest. So we in that we got the output of the mode is 151. So now standard deviation. So standard deviations, now see how we can understand. So in the variance and the standard deviations are the measures of dispersion. Dispersion means how much my data is scattered from the average value. So here we calculate some quartiles, percentile and ranges. So this variance, basically variance gives you the information on the spread of the data around the center value. Center value may be the mean and median only. So here in this diagram you can see we are measuring the height of the 5 dogs till the shoulder in millimeters. So here you see this dog height is 600 millimeter. Second dog height you can see 470 millimeter. And the third dog 170 millimeter. And the fourth one is 430 millimeter. And the fifth one is 300 millimeter. So these are their heights is plotted. Here it is showing by this arrow, red arrow, their height on the scale. Now we calculate their mean height. So we add all these heights and divided by number, 5 dogs are there, so number of dogs 5. So we got here the mean height is 394 millimeter. Now we plot this 394 millimeter on the graph with this green line. So green line represents 394 millimeter. Now see, from this mean height, what is the extra height of this dog 1? So that will you find. So that is called the variance. Now you see, so it is 206. So from the mean height, the dog 1 height is 206 millimeter more. So variance of 206. Second dog height is from the mean is 76. And third one is 224 in the minus, means 224 less than the mean height of the dog. And this entire dog classes. Similarly, this you are seeing. So this is called variance. This number what you are finding, that is called the variance. So variance is calculated. Now do the square of this data. So calculate the difference from the mean height and square them and find the average. So this 206 is square. So find the square of this difference and find its and add it and divide it by the number of the data. So when we added all this square of the difference, we got this 1,08,520 and divided by 5, the number will be 21,704. So this is the variance. So standard deviation is the square root of the variance. When we find the square root of this variance, we will get the standard deviation. Similarly, you got here the formula for the variance, which sigma square xi minus mu square. So mu is the mean here, mean. Xi from each data minus the mean and do the square and divided by n. Standard deviation, find the square root of this variance. Basically, we can say sigma is equals to square root of sigma square. So see some facts about the variance and standard deviation. A small variance indicates that the data points tend to be very close to the mean. The variance value will get a small, means it is very close to the mean. Here in our calculation case, the variance number is more. 21,704 means there is a more variation in the data. A high variance indicates that data points are very spread out from the mean and from one another. A low standard deviation indicates that the data points tends to be very close to the mean. High standard deviation value will indicate that data points are spread out over a large range of values. Now, how we find this variance and standard deviation, students? Just we use the statistics module height, and how we find the variance in the height of the students through the function statistics.variance. And the variance in the height of students gets 6.75 and the standard deviation 2 point this. So again come on the Jupyter notebook. So here you see this is the variance of the student's height. I calculated. Let me delete this output. Now when we calculate, when we run this code, now see got the standard variance in the height is 7.0 in my calculation and the deviation is 2. So high number it is, so data is more. In comparison to the last one, it is the variance less. So in this you can say data is less scattered. Okay, now we move ahead. Now how we represent the data in the graphical format so that the user can understand easily. So imagine you have a big bag of colorful candies. So how would you easily describe the different colors and how many candies there are of each color without counting them all one by one? So have you ever seen a weather map or a graph in a book? Why do you think the people use the pictures and charts instead of just writing out the numbers? So charts and the pictures gives the information, data visualization. A picture information is more easy to understand. So now what is statistics? So if you define the word statistics according to the Wikipedia, so like Wikipedia says that, so this statistics is a discipline that concerns the collection, organization, analysis, interpretation, and the presentation of the data. So basically statistics to the collection, organization, analysis, interpretation, and presentation, and the graphical format. So we summarize the large amount of data in a format that is compact and produces the meaningful information without displaying values for each observation. It is possible to represent data in a brief while keeping its meaning intact using certain techniques that is called the data representation. If you can represent the values in such a way so that one can understand easily and its meaning remain intact, so that is called the data representation. It can also be defined as a technique for presenting large volumes of data in a manner that helps the user to interpret the important data with the minimum effort and time. So data representation techniques are of two types. So this are non-graphical technique and a graphical technique. So table form data you are representing, table form and case form is the old form of the data representation, not suitable for the large data set. So that is called the non-graphical technique. Now graphical technique, the visual display of the statistical data in the form of points, lines, dots. This is the graphical technique. So here we are representing the data in the form of points, lines, dots, and other geometrical forms. In the most common, that is called the graphical technique. So see, the complex and large quantity of data, human brain is more comfortable in dealing if represented through visual format means. So means human brain is more familiar with the images, charts, graphs, and pictorial. Because from the birth only you started learning by seeing the images. Because your mother has taught you, this is the apple, this is the banana, he is your father, he is your brother, like this. By seeing the images and you related that image with some name. So graphical or pictorial presence of data using graph chart is known as data visualization. So data visualization is what? So if you represent the data through the visual format, that is called the data visualization. So here, see this is called the line graph, bar diagrams, pie diagram, scatter plot, histogram is used. So data visualization is possible in the Python with the help of the library that is called matplotlib. So we have to use this library matplotlib to convert our data. Just now we calculated the statistics mean, median, mode into the graphical format. We need this and another library that is called the matplotlib library. So this is a comprehensive library which can be used to create a wide variety of plots including line plots, bar charts, histograms, scatter plots and more. Matplot library is also highly customizable, allowing users to control the appearance of their plots in great detail. Students, this PyPlot is a submodule of this matplotlib that provides a MATLAB-like interface to the library. So from the matplotlib, we use the basically PyPlot. PyPlot provides a number of convenience functions which make it easy to create a simple plots. So you have to install this matplotlib in Jupyter Notebook. How you'll install it? We show you. We have to use this exclamation mark it, install matplotlib, and after that this will be installed. And after that you can use this matplotlib library for plotting the graphs. Okay. So students, so now see, when you import this matplotlib.pyplot modules, this is a submodule, this is the module. Some common functions present in this submodule pyplot are their title function. So this title function adds title to your graph or chart. X label sets the label for x-axis, y label function sets the label for y-axis, x limit sets the value for the limit for x-axis, and y limit sets the value limit for y-axis. X tick sets the tick marks in x-axis, means you want to rotate or what that value of the x-axis. Y tick sets the tick marks in y-axis, and show function display the graph. This is important. At the end we have to use this plot.show to display the graph on the screen. With this function only we display the graph on the screen. Save figure, save the graph in the address specified as an argument. You can save the graph also new. This figure function, so this is determine the size of the plot in which the graph is drawn. Value should be supplied in the tuple format to the attribute figure size which is passed as an argument. So you can say the height and width will pass in tuple form. Now list of markers and its descriptions are given here. So what markers we use? So point marker, pixel comma. So here is the marker symbol in description. Point marker, pixel marker, comma, circle marker, triangle down, triangle up, square, pentagon, plus for this marker plus. For point we use this one, dot. These are the markers. If you need these markers on the graph, circle this, so you use these symbols. For the point you will use dot, for the pixel you use comma, for a circle you use O, for the triangle down you use V, triangle up you use this symbol. For square S, for the pentagon P, for plus P, for star, streak, hexagon H, like this. For the plus X for diamond D. Now color codes are also given. For the color code blue, B for blue, G for green, R for red, C for cyan, M for magenta, yellow, black, white, K, W. These are color codes you have to use. Students, now see the line graph. What is this line graph? So line graph is a powerful tool. Line graph is a powerful tool used to represent continuous data along a numbered axis. So this helps us to visualize the trends and change in data points over time. Line graphs are suitable for the data that can take on any value within a specific range. Suppose from 1 to 10, any value if you're going to take in a graph, so in that case plot the graph, line graph. The line can slope upwards indicating an increase or downwards signifying a decrease. It reflects the changes in the data over time. So here you can see Kavya's AI marks for 5 consecutive tests Kavya has given. So plotted the line graph. So at the beginning C was doing the improving. So till third test C has improved, and after third test again C is all down, and after fourth test again C improved in the fifth test. So that is performance. You can see C is increasing in test 1, test 2, test 3, that increasing, and after in test 4 number is down. In test 5 again increased, improvement is there. So like this from the graph we can understand. So this is the rainfall data of Kerala given in the month in January, February, March, April, and it is the plotted line chart is plotted in the Python. So attributes of the plot function which are used inside the plot functions. So this line chart is plotted with the help of the plot function. This plot function we use, and color of the line can be mentioned by the color code inside the plot function. So attributes of the plot function. So what we use attribute inside the plot function, line width. You can set the width of the line width in terms of pixel. You can give line style. You can give solid dash dot dash dot. Marker you can give marker size, marker red, marker edge color. So determine the marker shape, size, and marker edge color respectively. So here it is a line chart. We plot a function. With the help of the plot function is done. Here you can see the title. We imported the matplotlib pyplot. The short name, alias name is given for this pyplot as PL. Test data we have taken 1, 2, 3, 4 for x-axis, and marks data we have taken for the students. 5 tests students has given. So 1, 2, 3, 4 we have given this label on the x-axis, test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5. On the y-axis we'll write this marks 25, 32, 47, 40, 48. Now the title is the what for the graph is analysis of test mark. In the x level what test number means test 1, test 2, and in the y level we given marks. See here, this is the marks, this is the test number. Down in this you can see. So here we use the G. Marker is a Davis diamond. So you got here the diamond. Okay. So test marks we have used here. So in the plot function, if you will go back, so let me show you. In the plot function, line style we are using. And the color also we are using color code. So color code I have shown you that. So see, these are the color code. G means green. So here, first we have shown this color code. Green color. G for green. So G is written in the color of this line will be green. Marker diamond. Marker size. This is the diamond size 10. Marker edge color blue. See the diamond edge color is blue here. Line style is the solid. So let me show you in my Jupyter notebook. This is the same over here. So let me delete this output. Now this is the code you are seeing, same code. When you write it over your Jupyter notebook and when you run it, so you'll get this one, same. See, this is your marker SQL. It's all I have explained you. Okay. So now the program to draw a line chart to visualize the computer rainfall data for the Tamil Nadu. So for this student, what you have to do, so first we create a CSV file in the Excel. So just like you open this Excel, see I have created. So this is the Excel file. You can see. So open Excel and write columns name, first two columns, first column 1, second column rainfall. So in the month column, write the month of name January to December. In the rainfall column, write the rainfall in centimeter in the following months I have 2 centimeter like this. And after that, save this file by the name rainfall.csv. Rainfall.csv. Okay. So now move. After that, you have to write this code. And then when you execute it, you will get the graph in this align format. So we have plotted this a diagram for the rainfall data of Tamil Nadu. So let us go on the Jupyter notebook. I will show you this is the rainfall data. It is the output. Now this is you can see. So figure size is mentioned 6,4. So means 6 pixel width 4. Length it is here and height will be 4 centimeter. 4 pixel. Now here the marker is used circle. So there you find the marker is the circle. Marker size 8, color red, marker face color yellow. Marker face color yellow is there. Here default color here the line color is not mentioned here. So now let us run the code and see. The line color default is taken blue. Okay. And the marker color face color yellow and edge color red, which we have mentioned in this. Rotation you see 45 degree x-axis. So this is the labels of the x-axis is 45 degree. It is appearing. So this with the help of the x-axis function. So here we have done x-axis 45 degree. So let us change the value. If I do it 30 degree, then you can see the changes. See 30 degree like this. If I height it 90 degree, let us make it 90 degree, it will be vertical. It will be vertical. See, it will be vertical. This happens. So let me make the set it to the original value. In the place of 90, let it be 45 only. Now 40. Y level you see, rainfall centimeter is written in the Y level. What you want the name that you add in the double quote, font name in the category, it will be printed. And the color is blue. Yes, color is blue, color rainfall centimeter, color is blue. Okay. And size is 12 same. Okay. Now rainfall data of Tamil Nadu. This is the title set. See this is the title rainfall data of Tamil Nadu. Font name category, color magenta, font size 16. Okay. So now it is clear, students. I think you understand. Now the bar graph. Similarly, a bar chart or bar graph is a graph that categorizes data with rectangular bars with heights or lengths proportional to the values. So here in this case, in the bar graph, which the height of the bar, length of the bar shows the values of the data. So by comparing the height of the bar, we can understand, we can compare the proportional values of the data, that which one is more or which one is less. So it is a good way to show the relative sizes, to show the comparison between the different categories. Here I will show you the data in the bar graph format. 5 schools data: Oxford Public School, Delhi Public School, Jyoti Central School, Sanskriti School, Bombay Public High School. And what are the strength of the students who attended the seminar on the deep learning, that is 123, 87, 105, 146, 34. Now I will show it in the bar graph form. The same in the bar graph form, how it is representing. See here, in the A we have taken the name of the school. In the B, name of the school for the x-axis, represented on the x-axis. In the B, we have taken the number of students attended the seminar of deep learning. Now, x label we given name of school, x-axis, y label means y-axis we have given the name total number of students. Here you can see total number of students. Here the name of schools. Now the title we set for the graph comparison on total number of students attending the seminar. Now pl.bar function is used for the bar graph, plot.bar, pl.bar. And for plotting the line chart we had used the plot function. Now here a comma b, the x-axis, y-axis values we given and the color is given C. Color code is C. That is the cyan colors. Now let me show you this on this. Here I have written the code in the dictated notebook. Same once you can also write the students and you see the output. You will get this one. Okay, don't need to worry. Very simple. Now we move ahead. So bar chart is plotted in the Python function, in the Python using the function bar function. So what are the attributes of this bar function? So the students attributes of the bar functions are color, determines the color of the bars, edge color determines the color of the bar edges, and width determines the width of the bars. So this width of the bars we can adjust in the bar function. We can use width also. Now see, similarly you can do this program to draw a bar chart to visualize the comparative rainfall data for 12 months in Tamil Nadu. Just I have shown you how to do it. And you can visualize this Tamil Nadu rainfall data in the bar form. I have also done the dictated notebook. I'll show you here over here. Its appearance output will be like this is January, February, March, April. So which month data is highest rainfall data in the June month? You can see how much. Near about 35 centimeter rainfall in June month. And second highest is in the October month. Near about 30 centimeter. Similarly, we can plot a histogram also. Histograms, students are the graphical representation of data distribution with vertical rectangles and depicting the frequencies of different value ranges. They are drawn on a natural scale and make it easy to interpret the central tendency, such as the mode if you want to calculate. So that we can do with the histogram. So here you can see histograms have a limitation. They can only represent one data distribution per axis. Here is the given data set containing the heights of the girls in class 12. Construct a histogram to visualize the distribution of height. So when you calculate, when you draw the histogram for this, you will get the like this one. So see, this is the number of girls. So girls having the height 141 and 142, between that 141 to 142. So basically we can see how many are there? Three students. Height is 141 or 142. 1, 2. Here 1, 41, 1, 2. Another 151. Not there 142. Yes, 141, 3. So here this end value is not included, as you know, in the class bar. Lower limit included, upper limit not included. So 141 and less than 142. That is 141 only. So 141 is 3. Similarly, 142 is 2. 143 is 2. Same only. Now the scatter graph. Scatter plots visual representation necessary between two variables by plotting the data points along both the x-axis and y-axis. So the scatter plot students reveal correlation whether positive or negative within pair data, showcasing trends and patterns. In scatter graph you can see essentially scatter plots illustrate the connection between variables through ordered pairs, making them useful for analyzing paired numerical data and situations where the dependent variables varies across different values of the independent variables. Their strength lies in their ability to clearly depict the trends, clusters, and relationships within data sets. Here you can see the student had a hypothesis for a science project. He believed that the more the students studied math, the better their math scores would be. It took a poll in which the students Given the study time in hours, we study maths 4 hours, we got the 82% marks, 3.5 hours 81, 5 hours 90, 2 hours 74, 3 hours 77, 6.5 97. So you can see 0.5 hours 51, 3.5 78, 4.5 86, 5 88. As a student, the average number of hours that they studied per week during a given semester, we found that of the overall percentage that they received in their math classes, the data is shown in the table below. To understand this data, we decided to make a scatter plot, the independent variable or input data. So here the independent variable is the input data, is the study time. Time is the independent data. Because the hypothesis is that the math grade depends on the study time. That means that the math grade is the dependent variable. So math grade is a dependent variable. Because if the study time will be more, the grade will be good, or the output data. The input data is plotted on the x-axis and the output data is plotted on the y-axis. So see here, the input data is the study time. So those who are studying 3 hours, so we have more, the numbers they got 70 and 80s, between 70 and 80s. So those who are studying 5 hours, they are getting the marks between 90 to 80. And 7 hours, they got the marks 90 to 100. Scatter plot is plotted using a function scatter. So in this case, we use the scatter function. So see, plot.scatter, x comma y, c color, and c map varieties. So which type of the map we use? Varieties. Okay. So rainfall of data of the Tamil Nadu plotted in the scatter format. Similarly, students, we can plot a pie chart. And this pie chart, student, is a circular graph divided into segments or sections, each representing a relative proportion or percentage of the total. Each segment resembles a slice of pie. Hence, the name is pie chart. Pie charts are commonly used to visualize data from a small table. Small table data only we can represent in the pie chart. Big data don't use it for the pie chart. But it is meant to limit the number of categories to 7. To maintain the clarity. If the categories is more than 7, don't use pie. Zero values cannot be depicted in the pie chart. Don't use zero value. Here you see, below given is a pie chart. They gone with the periods of every subject in a week. For the maths, English 6 period, maths 8 period, science 8, social science 7, AI 3, and physical education 2. So this is the periods allotted, and this is the pie diagram for that. So by seeing the more angle, more sector angle, you see 23%. So these are data, this AI 23% in which the maths and science. Maths and science. You can see science and maths, these two columns, having more number of periods, 23%. So we plot the pie chart with the help of the pie function. So what we use here, plot.pie. Here we provide the line width, edge color. We have the y and labels equals to x, start angle 90 degree, we provide wedge props, WP which we have used here. And the legend upper right here, legend upper right, location upper right. So let me show you the students. This I have plotted over here. The introduction to matrices. Now the knowledge of matrices is necessary in all branches of mathematics. And here in class 11th you are the student of mathematics. In class 12 you will study about the matrix. So matrix basically is putting the data in the tabular format, in the rows and columns. In mathematics, matrix plural is matrices, and matrices is a rectangular arrangement of numbers. So what is matrix? Basically matrix is a rectangular arrangement of numbers in the rows and columns. If the numbers are arranged in a tabular form as rows and columns, matrix plays a huge role in computer vision domain of AI. So wherein we use these matrices and computer vision. Image is represented as a combination of pixels. So this is represented mathematically as matrices. Let us understand with the help of the example. Aditi bought 25 pencil, 5 erasers. So Aditi, so this is the table format. Manu bought 5 pencils, 10 pencil, 2 erasers, and Adit bought and Manu bought 5 pencil, 1 eraser. Now this can be represented in the form like this matrix 25, see the same data. 25, 10, 5, 5, 2, 1. 25, 10, 5, 5, 2, 1. So first column represent the pencils data and second column represent the eraser data. And row 1, row 2, row 3 of different students, Aditi, Adit, Manu. The entries in the rows represent the number of pencils and erasers bought by the Aditi and Manu. So entries in the rows, row 1, row 2 are the number of pencils and erasers bought by Aditi, Adit and Manu. Or in the other format like this you can see. This is the row, this is the column. Here the entries in the columns represent number of pencils and erasers bought by Aditi and Manu. We denote matrices by capital letters, for example, A equals to like this. Now order of the matrix. Order of the matrix is having how many rows and columns. A matrix has n rows and n columns. This was the order of the matrix n by n, or simply you can say as m by n. So the matrix A in the above example is what? 3 by 2 matrix. The number of elements means 3 rows and 2 columns. Total 6 elements are there. See 3 rows, 1, 2, 3 rows and 2 columns, column 1, column 2. Total 6 data are there, 3 to 6 elements. Each individual element is represented as Aij in the matrix where I represent the row number, J represent the column. In general, Aij is an element lying in the ith row and jth column. A11 representing means first row, first column. So this is the first row and this is the first column. So this is the first row. So see, this is the first row data. This is the first row. So this is the first row and this is the first column. First row, first column. This is the first row. So this is the first row. And some other color if I use to represent first column. So this is the first column. See, this is the first column. First row, first column. Intersection part this one. So this represents A11. So this is the mathematics part, students. How we do the addition of the matrices. So we add the matrices according to their addresses. Means first row, first column value will be added with the second matrix, first row, first column. So add 3 with 6, add 2 with 3, 4 plus 5, minus 1 plus 9, 2 plus 3, and 0 plus 2. You got the result. See, this is called the addition of matrices. So 3 plus 6 gives you 9, 2 plus 3 gives you 5, 4 plus 5 gives you 9, minus 1 plus 9 gives you 8, 2 plus 3 gives you 5, 0 plus 2 gives you 2. This is called addition of matrices. Similarly, we do the subtraction also. Transpose of the matrix means convert the rows into columns. So these rows if you convert into columns, so here see, this is the rows data 8, 7. So you can convert it into column. Okay. Now 8, 7 will become the column, 2, 5 another column, 4, 6 another column. So this matrix having order 3 by 2. So when you transpose, it will become 2 by 3. So application of matrices in the AI. So just I have told you that we use these matrices in the computer vision. So in the image processing, digital images is represented using matrices. So we have to know about the representation of the matrices and how the arithmetic operation perform the matrices. Students, each pixel on the image has a numerical value. These values represent the intensity of the pixels. A grayscale or black and white images have a pixel value ranging from 0 to 255. Smaller values closer to 0 represent darker shade, whereas bigger one closer to 255 represent the lighter shade of white shade. So in a computer, every image is kept as a matrix of integers as part of channel. Recommender system using matrices to relate between users and the purchased or the viewed product. So that recommender systems also use matrices. In natural language processing, we use vectors to depict the distribution of a particular word in a document. Vectors are one-dimensional matrices. Next is students data pre-processing. Teachers ask the following questions. Oh, okay, leave it. Data pre-processing is a crucial step in the machine learning process aimed at making data sets more machine learning friendly, means cleaning of the data, handle all the missing values, handle all inappropriate values. It involves several processes to clean the data. Data pre-processing means before training the machine, before using the data for training the machine, we first clean the data, transform the data, and reduce the size of the data and integrate it and normalize the data. Now, data cleaning in missing data. Missing data occurs when values are absent from the data set. For particular, some rows in some column, there is no values. So, which can happen due to the various reasons. Maybe the strategy for handling the missing data includes deleting rows or columns with the missing values. So, remove that rows and columns which have the missing values. Or you can input the missing value with some estimate, some mean value, average value using some algorithm to handle the missing data. That already we have done in the data frame, how to handle the missing value. Outliers are the data points that significantly differ from the rest of the data, that are called outliers. Maybe it cannot be the expected result of data, often due to errors or rare events. Dealing with outliers involves identifying and removing them, transforming the data, or using robust statistical methods to reduce their impact. Inconsistent data. Data with typographical errors. Different data types are corrected and consistency among the data is observed. Next, duplicate data. Duplicate data will be identified and removed to ensure data integrity. Second stage in the pre-processing data is data transformation. The categorical variables are converted into the numerical variables. New features are identified and existing features are modified if needed. Third one is the data reduction. Dimensionality reduction reduce the number of features of data set is done. So like in the iris flower, we have 23 features. Similarly, take less features. If data set is too large to handle, sampling techniques are applied. Data integration normalization. Data is stored in multiple sources or formats. So merge or aggregate the data into compact one format. Then the data is normalized and show that all the features have a similar scale and distribution, which can improve machine learning models. Feature selection. The most relevant features that contribute the most to the target variable are selected and the irrelevant data are removed. So the features which contribute most in the prediction to the target variable, means what you want to predict, that only you select, and irrelevant data removed from that. Now, data in modeling and evaluations. After data is pre-processed, we split the data into two parts. Already I have shown you that we first training data set, we split the data into two parts, training data set and testing data set. So that also we split in the ratio of 80 to 20%. So 80% of the entire data is used for the training and 20% data we use for the testing. The training test is used to train the machine learning models, while the testing set is used to evaluate the performance of the trained models. While modeling, appropriate machine learning algorithms are chosen based on the nature of the problem. Students, we classify the data, we use the regression algorithm clustering and the characteristics of the data set. Techniques such as train, test split, cross-validation, and error analysis methods are employed to estimate the model generalization ability and identify the areas for improvement. So the train test split traces the model with its training set and evaluates this using the test set. So this is called the train test split. So we train the data with the training set data, 80% of the data, and after that we do the prediction on the 20% of the test set data. Cross-validation ensures the model's performance is consistent across different subsets of the data. Different types of evaluation techniques are applied on the model depending on the data. For the classification problems, metrics like accuracy of the data, precision, recall, F1 score, and ROC curve are commonly used. So these students will be studying class 12 detail. When we create a confusion matrix, we calculate all this value. For regressions problems, metrics like mean squared error we calculate, root mean square error we calculate, mean absolute error we calculate, and root mean square absolute error. And so this is all for today's students, and I hope I have covered all these chapters for this half yearly exam. So from my side, some of things can tell you that focus on from this the applications of the computer vision, that is the important part questions. Maybe you can get applications of the computer vision, and you can write the features of the pandas which make it suitable for the data manipulations. Prepare on the topic data preparations. Note how we prepare the data, that is the data preparations. These things are important, which you can study. Next things, have a glance on the feature engineering. What is feature engineering? That is also help you to study all these topics. So best of luck for your exam. Thank you.